Well, Dr. Wily is back on his BS. 8 more robot masters have been created. Old Johnny Eyebrows and his attempts to rule the Earth are back in full swing, and Megaman is once again called on to defend the world against this lunatic. But this time, NES gamers were sure not to miss out. Capcom's 1988 sequel Mega Man 2 sold more than 1.5 million copies worldwide and was the highest-selling video game in the series until recently ceding that title to Mega Man 11. In short, virtually everyone that had an NES had a copy of this game. Mega Man 2 is widely considered to be the best game in the series, and many consider it to be one of the greatest games not only for the NES, but in video game history. But in this video, I'll share one big mistake with this game that knocks it down my personal list. That said, it still remains a very enjoyable and well-made game with one of the best soundtracks on the console. You know the drill by now. Let's dig through this classic from start to finish and show you how to defeat Wily and his goons and knock another game off of your list. Thanks for being with us again today, everyone. As always, I'll encourage you to click that subscribe button to check out our NES walkthroughs that will be coming out each week on Wednesday. And on that front, a nice bit of good news to share. As of the recording of this video, the channel has surpassed 150 subscribers. So big thank you to all of you who have clicked that button and helped to grow this channel's visibility. And on that front, we're going to continue right along with one of my childhood games that I liked very much when I was growing up is Mega Man 2, as we watch the intro here. For those of you that saw our Mega Man video, which is also posted on our channel, this is a sequel that stays pretty true to the original with some really nice enhancements that they added in. As I played through it again this time through, I realized that I didn't like it as much as I remembered when I was a kid, and I'll kind of get into that when I get to that point in the video. Today we'll show you how to pass through this game on difficult mode. Ultimately, it's not that difficult a game. I would say Mega Man, the original, is more difficult. And we'll show you the order in which I suggest to go through the Master Robots. And we're going to start with Metalman. Pretty much any walkthrough I've seen has started with Metalman as the starting robot. And one of the nice things you get right away is an energy tank that's just sitting there for you to grab. So pretty easy start for this one. And we're going to just negotiate our way through these giant spiky metal crushers of Mega Man, which do quite a bit of damage if you get hit, so do take your time going through this little section, but really just navigating the terrain here. No enemies to speak of yet. Can't do anything to destroy them, you just gotta pass through. They're almost like those thwomps in Mario 3 that you activate them when you get close. And then when you get down here, you're just gonna go just ham on your controller. There's gonna be a lot of drops that fall out of these drill enemies. I think it's 5 shots with the M-Buster in order to take them down, but if you get hit, if one comes up under your feet, or you happen to get hit by one, there I go again, dinged by one there, but as you get hit by them going through this conveyor belt, you can always just pull back to the left side, fire through a bunch of them, try to get some drops, and then, get out of there without losing too much damage. It is tough to get out of there unscathed. They kind of pop up randomly, but once you do, as long as you got about 3/4 of your bar, you should be okay. That extra life feels like you're missing out on a big opportunity. It's not a huge deal. We're going to have plenty of them by the time this game is over, so no worries about missing any of that stuff here. Okay, and highly encouraged to just take out the wheel if you can, but if you do take out the guy riding the wheel, that will slow it down as it approaches you. Ooh, nice drop there for some health, and we're back to full. Look at that. Perfect start for this walkthrough. Once we're through these conveyor belts, another one of these clowns dropping on these weird gravity-defying gears sitting there in Metalman's level. On the normal difficulty, these guys die in one shot. On difficult, you have to avoid their body sort of cascading towards you when they get shot, but 2 hits will take care of them. Another missed opportunity, it feels like, with the E-Tank down there. No big deal. Again, we're going to have plenty of E-Tanks, plenty of lives by the time this game is over. This game is full of them. They've got them sitting everywhere. So no big deal early on missing out on those items. And just like that, we're already advanced to the Master Robot, Metalman. So the strategy with Metalman, he's got a conveyor belt on the bottom that's going to change direction. So it initially starts by pushing you to the left, and that is when you're going to want to attack the most because you can stand still and not get any closer to him. If you were to get closer to him, he's going to jump to the other side of the screen. I've never had good success with that. Basically, my strategy is I sit on the left side, I'll do a little jump and shoot, and then when he descends to the ground is when I fire off the last of my bullets. So if you can kind of jump over his metal blades a lot of the time. When he does that short jump, it's a straight jump. If he does a mid-level jump, he fires 2 blades, and then a high jump, he fires 3. And generally, if you just jump forward over that first blade he throws at you, you can kind of avoid everything. Just keep firing. I mean, like Dory would say, just keep swimming. We're just going to keep firing. Eventually, he's going to run into enough of your bullets and end up being demolished. So grabbing the metal blade early is certainly a huge asset in this game, and that actually brings me to, for any of you who might have just showed up because you wanted the teaser as to why I didn't think this game was necessarily as good as it's remembered, or doesn't deserve to be in the top video game discussion of all time. While it is a really strong soundtrack and the enemies are memorable, it's a really fun game to play through. I'm not going to knock it for that. The problem is this, the metal blade. It was a complete game changer getting this weapon. Look at how many metal blades you can fire without diminishing your stock whatsoever. I mean, in the first game, not only can you fire it in 8 different directions, which is a change from the first game. There was no weapon that did that. The closest you got was the Thunder Beam, I think, that shot in 3 directions. But you didn't have this insane stock of the weapon. You didn't have, 3 shots, 4 shots before it takes 1 bar of your ammunition. And the fact that it's twice as strong as the M-Buster just makes it that much tougher to kind of, I don't know, to get around. It really nerfs the game, in my opinion. And I think some of Mega Man's appeal, at least for me, is that it was difficult, is that you really had to struggle through some parts and think about which weapons were going to work best because you couldn't just sit on one and spend all your ammo. So I think with the metal blade in this game, that actually going through it again, it kind of ruins it for me a little bit because you can really just stick on the metal blade for a good portion of this game and get through it. There's not much thought behind what weapons to use. All right, I won't go on any further about that. I don't want to overstate the impact that has on the game. I really enjoy it. Like I said, I think it's still among NES's best in the catalog. I just don't think it deserves that sometimes top 5 consideration, top 10 consideration. I think it's probably solidly a top 25 game, but I'm not going to put it up in those upper echelons for me. Okay, oh my gosh, look at the drops on that one. Just missed a couple of extra lives there, which kind of stinks. Firing out that metal blade right as those eggs hatch is a good way to take out of all those little birds that are going to come out of there. So just the timing of that is good. If you hit the egg before the birds come out, obviously, it's going to just take it out in one shot. I was letting the birds hatch so I could try to get a few more drops. Typically, I try to bank a few extra lives. Unfortunately, they fell off the cliff. A couple of these carrot shooting bunnies, obviously a really on-the-nose sort of enemy that Wily has created. You get around them, and then Metal Blade I don't believe works on, it doesn't work on these guys. So really all you have to do on these is just stop moving when they appear on the screen, and they will jump right over you, just like that. Oh, I walked a little bit farther. And then you find yourself at Woodman. Now the other thing that I don't like about this game, so I guess I am going to go on my rant about why I don't think it deserves to be up there. So in the original Mega Man, you only had one weapon that really hurt enemies, or your master robots. You only had one weapon that they were vulnerable to. In this, Metal Blade ends up taking out like 5 of the master robots. It's not the most efficient weapon for Woodman, but it does the trick. And as you can see, it chops him down fairly efficiently. And now you've got the leaf shield that you'll acquire after this level. So I didn't like that you didn't have to think through the master robots as carefully, and you didn't have to struggle through discovering what their vulnerabilities were. Basically, you can use Metal Man on like 4 of these bosses in this game. So another detractor for me for this game is that you didn't have to really utilize all of the weapons and all of their different attributes. But that's really it. Those are the 2 takeaways. The rest of it, I really, really enjoy. All right, we're up to Airman now. We cleaned out Woodman, or as I cleverly put earlier, chopped him down. Now we're going to navigate through Airman. Not an easy level. This one takes a little bit of practice to get through these. Air tikis are, they fire little enemies out of each one of what I can only assume are their ears. And using the metal blade here really helps, especially being able to shoot in 8 directions. You don't have to jump off of that really narrow platform to have to deal with them. A couple more of these to pass through, and I believe once we get past the next one, we move on to the floating platforms. Yes, indeed. So now we have these lightning bolt Zeus-looking enemies that are going to try to knock you off of these floating platforms. 3 metal blades does each of them in. The key one to get is coming up right here. You're going to want to shoot up at an angle to take him out before he fires that blade, because he will knock you off that platform. Oh man, missed another one. That's 3 extra life drops. I haven't gotten one of them. Just one jump over to the next platform, and then the final enemy, and you are on to the end of this scene. A couple more of these birds that are going to drop. Grab a few drops as soon as they hatch. Just a quick fire of a blade and then jump, and typically you avoid most of them. You can also use the leaf shield here. If you're really not skilled at that move and just want to make sure you don't get hit, you can use the leaf shield, and they all run into you, and takes them out with that method as well. But as you can see, I've used Metal Blade the whole level. I've still got a full stock of it. It's a nice weapon. I will say this, it's a nice weapon to rely on if this is what you're going to move through with, and it allows for clearing this game to be a lot easier. Okay, couple of air tikis in a row. You really want to push to the right of that first one to make the second one appear early so that their little horns are in sync and you can jump over cleanly. Now you got to watch out for these fan guys. Fanboys, I guess we could call them, but they are... took a hit there. They are going to blow Megaman backwards. So now is when you really don't want those birds floating around. Take out the eggs. The platforms are enough to negotiate. And, oh, look at that. He disappeared on me. Gotta love the old... Oh, and that one too. Gotta love the old NES glitches there. I wasn't doing that on purpose. That's just kind of how it happened. Finally get ourselves an extra life from a drop. Thank you very much. And in perfect timing too, because we are up to Airman. You're going to use Woodman's leaf shield on Airman. And really, you don't even have to move. You're going to enter the level, and you're going to just stay there until he fires 3 of his air attacks at you. You might get hit with all 3. It's not going to kill you. You try to jump through him if you can. If you can't, just take the hit. You're going to take care of him as soon as he jumps across. Now, once he jumps across, hit B in timing, and if you hit him 4 times, just pulling up your leaf shield, you don't even have to fire it. Just hit B. The leaf shield comes around, it hits him, and if you hit it 4 times, he's done. So really easy enemy there as long as you sustain that first impact of his weapons. And now the nice part, now this I will give a big credit to Mega Man 2 with. The items that they introduced in this game were really, really unique and a very cool addition to the normal blaster stock that you got from the enemies that you defeated. Dr. Light created 3 items that allow you to access different parts of levels and, give you platforms to jump off of. And what you get here is item 2, which is basically like a jet platform that allows you to stand on it and just kind of hover above and just coast above, almost air surfing above sections of levels in the future. So a very useful item that we'll get into in a little bit here. But we are moving on to Bubbleman now that Airman is taken down. And again, you're going to use Metal Blade for a lot of this level too. The width of the bullet really helps. These frogs don't get hit by that M-Buster, which makes it kind of annoying. Man, this is pretty annoying. But if you keep one frog on the screen, the big guys will not fire anymore. So you can get some free shots without them firing out more projectiles if you keep one of those little robot frogs on the screen. Just push forward, take the hit there. You definitely don't want to fall off the platform, and then these will disappear out from under your feet. But crossing over those will then move you to the next scene. And down here now you're going to be entering Bubbleman's underwater section of his level pretty soon. You may want to stock up with any drops that these things can give you. Sometimes you grab a little bit of either ammunition or health if you ran out of it. And as always, extra lives do drop in this game. We've already seen a bunch of them. Pick them up. Always a good idea to have extra lives. Very good. A little bit of ammo left. One more scene of these. And now we're going to move down to the deepest layer of this with shrimp firing out of a giant fish's mouth. I'm not really sure, I don't really know what he was thinking with this one. Honestly, Taylor's thinking, I don't know what the hell he's thinking. But that you can move through by just taking out the antenna on top of the big fish. The shrimp will chase you. Whatever. Now, at this point, you got to be really careful when you're jumping, because jumping underwater is going to give you a lot more elevation, and you really have to be sensitive with that jump button to make sure you don't jump. Now we're talking. Extra little drop. You want to be sensitive with your jump timing, and here, fall straight down. Do not push forward there. You will instant death if you push forward off of that ledge, and you have to jump off that ledge. You can't just walk off of that one and avoid those spikes, because a single hit with those spikes will kill you. All right, got to get a little ammo here. Pull back, and let's take out this giant fish. Like I said, just that little antenna on top will be enough to do him in. Come on, one more. Another one? Get out of here. I got to get that. Don't let it disappear. All right. Man, we're well stocked for this. Need a little ammo, running a little bit low here. And we're going to need this for the next section. Again, don't jump too high going through. You do not want to hit those spikes on the ceiling. Now, you can get a lot of drops here if you just kind of position yourself underneath the big frog and just keep firing up in the air. Man, I got no ammo out of that one. That stinks. Same with this one, too. You can get yourself a lot of ammo if you just keep firing that angle. I am running dangerously low now, which I never thought would happen with Metal Blade. But alas, here we are. All right, these lobsters, they will take you out. You've got to be careful, especially going through these pits. They're going to drop in here, and they're going to, give you just enough of a hesitation. Do not rush through those jumps, because they'll knock you into the abyss. And then finally, once you've gotten over those platforms, we're off to Bubbleman. So Bubbleman, again, is susceptible to Metal Blade in this. I'm not sure if it's the primary weapon that hurts him, but it's one that works for me. You have plenty of ammo. He's going to kind of fire off a couple of bullets and then float up over you, and you can really just stand against the wall and kind of shoot upwards to take him out. So pretty simple. Just took about 7 shots, and Bubbleman is done. So you're going to pick up his bubble-lead weapon, which will be useful against some of these enemies that crawl along the ground that you can't hit with your M-Buster, as well as, I believe, our next Master Robot, which I think we're going to move to Heatman next. So, all right, we grab our bubble lead. I like this screen in between, too. It shows you the different color that you will change into when you grab the new weapon. Yes, we are moving to Heatman next. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody. But yeah, Heatman is next. Now, this level, the reason that we did Airman first and got item 2 first is because of this level. There's a section of this that's just not worth taking on if you don't have to. And the kind of the item 2 is going to carry you right through that part of the section. So again, Metal Blade for this, shooting in 8 directions here makes this a lot easier, and the width of that bullet really makes this a lot easier. Just focus on taking out one enemy and then jumping. They're only going to have 3 on the screen at the most, so you can also keep that in mind as well. And just platform to platform over this first section before you drop down on the other side. This is one area where you can use bubble lead if you want to take care of these little springy things in case you don't want to deal with them taking some of your life. Easy enough. Bubble lead doesn't get a lot of pub in this game, so might as well use it while you can. And then we'll drop down, and now we're back to one of our favorite. This was a nice little throwback to Megaman, the original, with these disappearing and reappearing blocks. So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, come on. Go ahead and jump across here. No need for any item or anything like that. We're just going to hop up. It's only 3 jumps, I believe. And then down into this next section. Now, this one might take a little bit of time and practice to get through. Probably one of the tougher sections to negotiate if you're not sure of the timing, because these enemies keep popping up. But you want to make sure to just get over these pits and clear out those enemies in appropriate timing so that they're not messing with you while you're on those disappearing platforms. All right, we're over the short one here. Now we got one, and I think the timing of this one's a little delayed. Yep, hop up. Look at that. Now, those parts of the wall that are blocks like that, you can break through those with crash bombs. We haven't gone through him yet, but we will later on. So if you happen to have them and you want to use that strategy, you can. So the disappearing, reappearing block section is here. All you have to do is grab item 2, run up to the left side, and fire. Now, you can either jump off for the extra life, like I just did, in which case you probably got to just jump over this little block there to get all the way across, or you can just ride the item 2 all the way across on the first time. Up to you if you need the life. I stopped and grabbed the life to show you what it's like. For this one, I don't know the strategy until you get Quick Boomerang. You just got to fire as many bullets as you can. And, oh, there we go. A little bit of ammo. We'll grab it for Bubble Lead, because that's what we're going to use on Heatman as we go through here. Heatman's pretty simple. Once he gets hit, he engulfs himself in flames, and then he kind of transports himself across the stage. and then he'll fire 3 little fireballs out of the top. So there are the 3 little fireballs. The bubble lead hits him. Then he fires to where you are. So all you want to do is kind of keep moving side to side, jump over him as he kind of transports. Not a very clean run for me, but still got through it. And it only takes about 5 shots with bubble lead before he is done in. So far, so good. Pretty easy on the bosses so far, especially if you're using the right weapons. Woodman might actually be the toughest one because the metal blade doesn't do as much damage to him, but his pattern is pretty simple. We've got ourselves Atomic Fire, and again, we grabbed ourselves a nice little item from Dr. Light. I think we're going to grab item 1 off of this level, which is basically a floating platform that rises up, and you are going to need that item in order to clear this game as is. So probably a good idea for us to have grabbed it now. And it helps us with a couple of different collectibles later on in the game. Makes it a little bit easier. So back to the stage select now, and we are going to move on to Crashman. So the reason we want Crashman first is because I want to be able to use crash bombs in Flashman stage. So we will take him out here, and we've already killed Airman, which he's susceptible to. So big shock, back to our metal blade. We're pretty much going to run through the level with that as our main ammunition again, and firing it in 8 directions just makes this so much easier. So moving through these guys. Oh, look at that, it goes under him. Oh, come on, I don't want to switch weapons. Let's just go. I'm so tired of going to the pause menu. I tried to jump and just take him out there. You can. If you go back to your M-Buster, you should be able to hit him with that. I'm surprised Metal Blade shot under him. That's weird. Then you're going to get to these conveyors. Oh my gosh, another drop. Well, if you do get an extra life, drop off and wait for it to come around again. Wait for your little Megaman Uber over here. But once you've worked your way around, you can either use Metal Blades on these parts, but I'll show you in another couple of screens, I think it's a couple of screens, how there's a different technique to use when you get overrun by these enemies and the track gets longer. So for now, I'll show you how to use Metal Blade for these. I'm not going to bother with the health. That should be fine. We'll jump up. Now at this stage, I like to actually switch to the Leaf Shield here and then just let it kind of encircle me as I ride. So hit B, it draws it up. It doesn't move until you move Mega Man's character. So if you just sit there motionless, it'll just encircle you, and any enemy that gets within its range is going to get destroyed. So kind of a nice little opportunity there. I don't think I need the ammo for anything yet. And then once you get up to the ladder, jump up, and there you go. Now we're going to begin our ascent to Crashman. We have one of these enemies that we saw in Metal Man's level. Just be aware that he fires out his little... he fires out the rest of his body at you when you hit him the first time. I think the reason I couldn't remember if I needed Metal Blade up here, but I think I actually need the M-Buster because those little hard hat fellas are... There's one of them up here. Yeah, he's sitting right here. So what I do here is I jump to the middle and then immediately jump back. And that'll allow you to jump over the bullets that he shoots. Doesn't knock you down. If you take a hit on the second one, fine, but you don't want to get knocked off that platform and have to climb all back up again. It's not fun. I'm going to take the right ladder here, but I jump up on the left and then kind of transfer over. Just avoids that enemy and avoids dealing with him at all. And then Metal Blade here because, you guessed it, birds are back again. So you're going to want to fire a few of these to take out any birds that are in your path. And then if you go to the far right, the reason I'll climb up the far right is because when the bird comes from the right, that egg doesn't break and all those birds baby birds don't fall out. So it's a little bit easier to climb up this section. Now if it comes from the left, you still got to deal with it like that. Very fortuitous timing. And then once you get to the very top, the reason that it's not a big deal about that energy tank is because you have grabbed the right item. So go back, grab your energy tank, and now grab item number 1 and quickly throw a few of them out there and grab that outside ladder to climb up for another extra life. It's beautiful having the right items in the right spot in this game. Okay, Metal Blade will take these guys out in one shot. Ooh, snuck under that one there. If you need to farm for any drops, ammo, health, anything, now is the place to do it. Because Crashman is coming up. Now, Crashman requires the air cannon. So we'll switch to that here. And now the key with Crashman, he's going to fire his crash bombs out. When you shoot, he jumps. So when you fire the air cannon, you want to jump also. to make sure you meet him in the air. So all you got to do is hit him 3 times, and if you jump and fire that air cannon, chances are he's going to jump into you when you do so. So really easy to take him out, but if you fire from the ground, he can jump over your bullets, and he's a pain to deal with. So make sure you're jumping as you're shooting to take care of him. So crash bombs are now in your arsenal, which is a very useful weapon and one that you're going to need for Wily's level when we get there. But we wanted to have it, so we have it for Flashman. This is my favorite song in the game. Listen to this theme. It's just, when I think of this game, this is the song I think about. Even to this day, when I'm walking around the house, every now and then I'll just break into this song as I'm humming or doing daily tasks or whatever, because it's such an earworm. Love this song. Props to the whole soundtrack entirely, but this one particularly is one of my faves. All right, we'll grab item 1 here. Let's go up and secure our extra life that we can get real quickly. I mean, we're loaded now with stock of those, right? And then if we go to the very top, using the crash bombs here is a nice little investment of your resources, and I'll show you why in the next screens. But you can take down these 3 walls, and it's possible they do drop stuff for you, and ammunition in that case. They could drop health, extra lives, anything like that. And then fall down the outside. You're going to skip ahead of this enemy. Thank goodness. He can take a lot of life from you if you're not careful. We're going to skip ahead of this enemy. And we're going to skip ahead of, I believe, 1 more, which is really... Oh, well, we do have to deal with these, but Metal Blade to the rescue. And that's no problem, because you can sit there and farm drops if you want to. And then, when we go down this way, we skip ahead of 1 more. And then if you push against the left wall, you can jump over this guy. If you need the health, you can go get it. May or may not be worth it to you. If you can climb along and jump along these platforms on the top, they are slippery, so be aware. Oh, look at that. I fell right off. Doesn't matter, though. We've got the right items. So back up, item 1. Jump up, give it 1 more. Jump up, and you can climb through the gap. Grab yourself an energy tank. Now over to our crash bomb. Get us around this. I mean, it really makes the level so much easier having that crash bomb in this spot. So that's the encouragement of the order in that way. Okay, you guessed it. Another boss, another Metalman. Ugh. If they had made it just all you had to do was just utilize some of these other weapons a little more, and it could have been perfect. But really kind of ruins it a little bit for me. All right, Metal Blades do Flashman in very quickly. Takes about 7 shots to take care of him. And that flash is going to be necessary because Quickman is no joke. So we're going to need that flash time stopper, as well as item 3 that we're going to pick up from Flashman here. And we're going to need both of those for Quickman and obviously for Wily's level. So, all right, Dr. Light letting us know that item 3 is going to be added to our arsenal. Item 3 is a wall climber, so it kind of bounces along the floor and then latches onto a wall, and you can ride it up any particular wall that gives you trouble, and then it descends back down to the ground. It's kind of a unique item. You'll see it in use in the next level here in just a moment. But once he is equipped with it, we'll go to our stage select and our final Robot Master, Quickman, who I think is pretty badass, quite frankly. I think he's a a well-drawn robot. All right, item 3 in action to start, because we got ourselves a free extra life that we can grab. Oh my gosh, we're already at 9. We're in great shape over here. Up to an even 10. You can go, hey, big shock. We're going to go to Metal Blade from here, because we've got a couple of these little buggers to take care of. And then you can get to the edge, fire one down, take him out. And now here, this is probably the toughest part of the Quickman levels, are these scenes where these, these flame sort of bars come onto the screen very quickly, and you have to drop through without getting touched. You don't care about getting hit by that enemy. You want to push to the right if you can for an extra life, an energy tank, and some ammo refill. We're already at 4 energy tanks, so at this point, any energy tanks for us don't really move the needle. And extra lives are always good, but I think we have plenty to get through the game here. So right now, I'm not going to necessarily highlight all the spots you can grab those, because we're just trying to clear this game, and that's what we're hoping to do. So, all right, at this next spot, you can get your time stop ready. It'd be great to save it. The key here is a small jump onto that platform quickly. Move to the left and descend down. Then you're going to take the left side down this next path, always pushing back towards the other direction when you fall. So if you fall to the left, push back to the right. and so on. So I fall here. Now you want to get outside of these two little platforms here and fall straight through. Don't be distracted by the extra life. You'll burn up extra lives getting it. If you do use the time stopper, it buys you a lot of time to get through these sections if you're having a lot of trouble. Now it is possible to do without, but it is tough if you really can't get through it. It's not worth the life. You'd much rather come in here, maybe farm for a couple of ammo containers or whatever you can get to refill your time stopper. But really what you've got to do here, I have no way around it. Really what you got to do here is just get through and get to Quickman so that you're at your save point. And then from here, we can kind of decide what to do. So we're going to use our time stopper here. It basically just drains half of Quickman's life. So as soon as he comes down and fills his energy bar and starts going around like crazy, fire it off. It's going to use the entire bar. But as you see, Quickman's life is draining a bit from being stopped in time. So he's already down to half life. Really, it's your M-Buster after that. He's only going to take about 8 hits. And, oh gosh, you got me. Oh, I'm running low on life. I got to be careful. One more hit. I might need an E-Tank here. Yep, let's go. E-Tank. E-Tank. Okay. Use one of them. That's why we stored them up. And now we should be fine to just take out Quickman with the M-Buster, assuming I don't blow it here. He is really just annoying, though. So just whatever you can do to get that M-Buster on him. 8 shots after the time stop is used, and he should be done. And there you have it. 8 Master Robots are complete, and we grab his Quick Boomerang as well, which is also a very overpowered weapon, very similar to the Metal Blade. The only difference with Quick Boomerang is that it doesn't have the range or the 8 directions, but also a really overpowered weapon. You get a ton of stock of Quick Boomerangs when you use it. All right, there he is. Wily is back in his similarly designed ship with unmanicured eyebrows. Oh boy, but he's really upgraded his home. Would you look at this? I wonder who it belongs to. Can't tell with the giant insignia in the middle of the 2 eyes of the skull. All right, so you see we have about 5 levels to get through to get to Wily. And here is the banger on the soundtrack. This is the one that started our video. I love this music for this level. And since I don't actually need any power-ups, we're just going to ditch these eggs as we go through. Oh, love this music, though. This signified, too, like, I liked the change in the pace of the music when you got to Wily's level. Like, now we mean business. Really cool. All right, item 3 to climb up this wall. You can also use item 1, but I want to save that. There's a section you need it for later. And then a nice little trick here. Just use item 2 at the top of this wall, and it will carry you all through this entire section, all the way up to the end. Then you can switch over to Metal Blade, take out these, maybe get a drop. Nope, apparently not. And now we will climb our way up. Grab an extra life, because why not? First Metal Blade, switch over and take it out. There we go. Cut things. All right, cool. And then we're gonna have to go back. I think we gotta go back to item 3. So I just dropped down to throw it again because it's a little bit tough to thread through there. You can actually make that jump off the ledge, but it's pretty frustrating. So I don't even bother. All right, Quick Boomerang will take care of this guy nice and quickly for us. I think it's 5 shots or so. And then I want to go ahead and fill up item 3, I believe. Either of the items is probably fine. You're going to want to fill both of them eventually, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Just you have to be aware, though, this is a Wily stage, so you don't recharge all of your enemies or all of your ammunition stock between levels again. So once you're going through this section, you need to be conscious of all of the ammo you use, because every bullet you use basically doesn't get replenished in between levels. Okay. Quick Boomerang will take care of this little fella, and then we've got kind of a challenging little section upcoming using item 1. So, good thing you have full stock of it. It might take a couple of attempts, but basically what you have to do is create your own little bridge from one ladder to the other. Now, I think there's also a way to do it with item 2. Oh, rats. But I need item 2 later, and I've done this with item 1 before, so I'm just more comfortable with it. There may be a way to do it with item 2 that I'm not as familiar or comfortable with, but you can. As you see, just kind of move to the left side of each of the platforms you make, fire off another item 1. You can put 3 on the screen at a time, and if you go quickly, you can grab that ladder. All right, we're coming up to Mecha Dragon, and he is susceptible to Quick Boomerang. So switch over here. You're going to be running for a while and grabbing or hopping onto these platforms as they scroll by. Eventually, it goes from you moving to drive the screen forward to it automatically moving. Right there. Now it's automatically moving, and you need to stay ahead of the Mecha Dragon. If he touches you, he will kill you. It's an instant kill if you contact his body, so just be aware. Hanging out in the back one here is a good way. You can get off a few shots, and then step up to the front. Oh, he caught me with his horn. I got a little bit too far forward on that platform, and he caught me with his horn. Oh, bugger. I thought I was maybe going to do this deathless. I have a blemish on my record now. All right. Well, a little refresher in case you forgot how to get through these guys. Quick boomerang for the first one. I can't believe that. That was very careless. All right, we'll take him out again. Show you the trick with item 1 again, just in case you need to see it one more time. Oh, I did get a nice drop here. We're gonna fill up item 1 again in case it doesn't work. And we'll try this one more time. I kind of feel like in Spaceballs right now. Actually, skip past that. In fact, no one ever watched that part again. That's kind of what it feels like right now. Okay, back up for item number 1. The little bridge that we make across this chasm for Megaman to expand on. Don't take too much time. There we go. If you take too much time, you run out of space to jump at the end. You can climb right past these goofs and back up to the top. All right, we'll do this in take 2 on Mecha Dragon. Again, we're quick boomerang for this one. And again, eventually the platforms switch from you driving them forward to the screen driving them forward. It's like an auto scroll, so just be aware of that. The timing of it gets a little bit wonky. So if you just keep moving forward, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to keep going. If you're taking your time and stopping, it becomes harder to adjust to that timing. But all right, hang in the back. See if I can do this right. I'm going to make sure I don't step too far forward on that high platform. See that? Yeah, let's just get off of there. And just fire from the back middle if you can. Only jumping over his fireballs when he fires them, but generally pretty easy if you just kind of hang on the back there. Okay? And he goes down. He's probably one of the trickier bosses in Wily's level. The rest of them are fairly simple, but he can give you an instant death or knock you off those platforms. So in the Legacy of Megaman, the first boss in Wily's level ends up being probably the toughest that you'll face throughout the duration, aside from Wily himself. Now into Wily Stage 2, we get a free ammunition replenishment, and you're going to need all of the item 2 that you can get here. So grab your Metal Blade. You're going to be able to farm off these enemies a little bit if you need to. These guys coming down, just one straight shot from the Metal Blade does them in. And do I need something? Oh, that was nice work, Nate. I don't know if I need something here because I believe there might be, yeah, there it is, another ammo canister at the end. So as long as you get pretty close to full on item 2, you should be good. Just fire one off here and ride it. Now you're going to ride it past the first ladder to the second ladder because there is a lot more benefit to going to that second ladder first, namely an energy tank. So make sure you grab that, and then you can swing back down and refill after your extra life, refill a lot of the canisters that you had to refill. Now I think I'm grabbing item 3 there, and then I'm going to fill up item 2. Item 3 is something you're going to need eventually in this. You're going to need a decent stock of item 1 and item 3 for one of the bosses, so I just take care of filling those now. If you need an extra life, if you need an energy tank, you've got another couple there, so they really stock you up if you need. I'm going to skip them. I've got 12. There's no reason for me to have to go and get those. Once you drop down, just push to the right, fall through the next crack. Now, there's another spot that you can farm here, which I'm going to try to do for just a minute to make sure I've got a decent amount of ammunition. So, another life. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, we're well stocked with those. I'm trying to see if I can just push through slowly. I want to see, and I don't want to lose too much life here. There is a section coming up that sometimes I take a few hits on, so I'm not doing very well here. Come on, get it. Oh, I missed it. I wanted to stock up item 2. Now I'm running low on metal. This is a disaster. Let's try this again. Well, extra life for my trouble. All right, I suppose I'm going to finish with like 20 lives in this game. More. These drill enemies are... Just give me a big energy drop, would you? There it is. Come on, go push through. Get it. Come on. Oh, I'm not going to get there. I can't believe it. Another life, though. At this point, I'm ready to just die and start over to get my life filled. Oh my goodness. Well, in case you ever needed lives, this is definitely the place to go. All right, a little bit of item 2. Can I get something? I am going to need it again. All right, by now I think I've gotten basically all of the farming done that I'm going to do. Just kind of push through and get to the end of this. I'm trying not to take too much more damage. Oh, right as I say it. Hey, there we go. Come on. Give me that. Okay. All right, I'm going to live with this. If I can grab... Oh, man, I really didn't want to take that. Okay, good enough for me. A lot of work to only fill item 2 a little bit, but we got full item 3 because we're going to need it up here. I apologize for making you guys witness that. That wasn't the best. But it is a good reminder that you can farm in that area if you need anything filled. And frankly, you know, not a perfect run by me, so I needed to spend the time. And I appreciate the solidarity that you've shown in sticking with me through that piece. Thread the needle between those 2 giant metal spiky drop things, and then we are down to some of the last stages before the boss. So 2 more platforms to jump. You can hop up and grab a little energy if you need it. I think we're okay. The boss here is pretty simple. We are just going to hop down into the chamber. So the boss in this section of Wily's level is going to be 2 bricks from the room that you're in coming together and forming an enemy, and 3 metal blades does them in. So if you just kind of position yourself jumping over the bricks when they come at you, wait until they form the enemy, and then 3 metal blades at them should do the trick. And it's really quite basic. They all kind of form in the middle. It's pretty straightforward. You also can step on the parts of the level where the bricks came from, so it's not like you have pits now to jump over. It's still all safe for you to walk on it. So, all right, just 1 more of these, I think. Come on, 2 more, and there's the next one. And there you have it. Metal Blade does the trick, as is usual in this game, and we are through 2 of Wily's levels. And moving on to the 3rd. I am running a little dangerously low on a couple of weapons, though. I've got to keep an eye out for ammo canisters now and get myself replenished here. Oh, it might be a good opportunity to do it if I remember correctly. So, a little bit tricky in this level. There is one spot in particular you can spend a lot of life. I don't want to spend my crash bombs to get just 1 canister. It's not worth it, because I'd have to fill up crash again. And I can get these here, actually. That's right. So, yeah, you can quick dispense of this enemy down there and then either jump out. I think I want metal, actually. You can jump out if you're well-timed, or if you need to use an item, probably item 1 to float up, or I guess you could use item 3 there, too. And then I want to fill, I think, quick boomerang, because the boss in this level is susceptible to quick boomerang, so not a bad idea to just have that thing full. And then if you drop down, you're going to be into the spike water, holding A to jump through these pits, not hitting any of those spikes at all. If you do, it's an instant death. Jump over the giant metal piranha fish there. And then up into this chamber here. Now this does take a little bit of practice in threading the needle. You're going to jump off lightly, push forward completely, and then move your character left as far as you can, falling down the subsequent 2 screens until you get to the final one where it opens up, and then land safely. Any contact with any of those mines is instant death. So that part does indeed take a little bit of threading the needle in practice. But as soon as you jump out, you've got a little stretch here where you can take out a few enemies, and then you're pretty much at the boss. It's actually a fairly short level once you've gotten through that. It kind of stinks. I don't know that there's really a way to avoid these guys shooting at you. You got to just kind of take a shot and then wipe them out while you're dazed. So you take a couple of shots there, and then you're over to quick boomerang. We've got plenty of energy tanks, but you shouldn't need them for this boss. We're going to hop up onto the front of the tank here, and then just start jumping and firing quick boomerangs. It's going to take him out relatively quickly. He's susceptible to it and doesn't really have defense for it. So very, very simple. Just jump and quick boomerang, and out that guy goes. And look at that, you're 1 stage closer to finishing Wily and Megaman 2, which is just crazy. The highest selling Megaman up until just recently when Megaman 11 took over. But 1.5 million copies of this game sold back in, 1988 through, and beyond. So really pretty awesome to consider how influential this game was for NES gamers. All right, we're going to boost up item 3 here, and the reason is we're going to need that for the boss. Item 1 and item 3 and crash bombs are going to be needed for this boss, so just keep that in the back of your mind. When we're going through this level, we don't want to spend too much of those, and the reason you have to be very judicious with them is because oh, that's a very nice ammo drop. Yeah, give me some of Metal Blade here. Gonna get that replenished. The reason that you want to be judicious is because at the boss level, you have exactly enough crash bombs to defeat the boss, and not one more. So you're going to want to make sure you don't waste any. I use Bubbleman here to kind of show there are some false pits in this section of the game. So if you fire Bubbleman across the floor, it'll fall down where that false pit is. So you see I've got a spot there that I need to jump over. And then, look at that. I fell through the other 2 pits that I didn't even know were there. I thought I was free and clear. Let's try this again. So first jump, right there, and then where's the next one? Okay, right there. There we go. Yeah, just a little trick that you've got there. And the false floors are in the next couple of scenes, so you can use Bubble Lead to identify where those are. Make sure that you're not going to lose a life jumping. Where is it? Here. Got it. So jump across to that ladder. And these all have false floors as well. I don't need the energy tank. I've got 4, so I'm going to just move on. And once we do, we'll get moved on down to, I believe, the little tracks, platform track again. Yeah, we're going to use the leaf shield here. And we've got platform tracks that we're going to ride along. So again, just hop down onto the platform, fire up the leaf shield whenever you want. And I'll do it now. And it'll take out any enemy that comes near you. So just wait until you can drop off safely and then climb down the ladder on the other side. There we go. All right, this one just requires a little bit of timing. Drop down when it's under you. A little hop up onto that ledge. And then ride the platform up to the top. Okay, a little bit trickier on this one, but pretty much more of the same. What you'll do is hang on the ladder, hit B to draw up your leaf shield, and then when the platform's under you, don't press any direction, just press A. You'll leap off of the ladder, keep the leaf shield spinning around you, and it'll take out these enemies. You ride this up until you get to the blockage here, jump up on top, bring up a new leaf shield, right there, and ride that to the end. Pretty useful. I like that little section in the way that gets used. Push to the right, and one more of these to go through. For this, I'm going to use item 2. You only need a tiny bit of it left, probably like 4 or 5 blocks of it. And we've got enough here. We're going to wait for this platform to come down, hop onto the mini, and then fire across. You can actually get through by jumping onto that rolling platform as it rolls away from you. It's just not worth it to me. All right, we finally have Quick Boomerang to deal with these stupid things. 5 shots will take that thing down, and then another 5 to take out Sniper Joe. Well, actually, Sniper Joe's technically green, so we'll call, I don't know, Pistol Pete, whoever this guy is. One more of these to worry about, but Quick Boomerang makes quick work of them. Oh, that was nice. And one more of these guys to go. Over his hit bullets. Okay, this is where you're going to need item 1, item 3, and crash bombs. So basically your job here, you do not want to take out every one of these walls. You only want to take out the walls that you must. And every now and then, these 5 enemies are going to shoot projectiles at you. First thing to take out is on the left. You can just worry about that. You don't want to get knocked down, lest you have to use more item 1 and item 3. But then you can take out the next 2 enemies, which are to your right. So you've already knocked out 3 if you follow that pattern. Do not blow that wall up. Grab item 3 and climb back up. Now you want to get down to the bottom. I'm running out of life here. I might have to use an energy tank. You got to blow up that wall. There's no way around it. And then take out the enemy that sits there. I tried to avoid it. Didn't work. Let's just don't mess around. Come on. Use the energy tank. Gotta wait until all my bullets are done. There we go. And then we have to find our way back up to that guy up there. So item 3 gets us to the main platform, and then you want to grab item 1. Oh, rats. It's kind of tough to thread. So you got to just be aware of, there you go. If you take a shot on the way up, whatever, but you've got to get up into that section to fire the final crash bomb. Like I said, I'm completely out of ammo, but you have just enough to get through the boss if you do it correctly. kind of a unique challenge, that boss. I like the way that was crafted. So got to use a different weapon, got to use a different strategy. Props to Mega Man 2 on that one. All right, we are into our final stage, right? Final? Wink, wink. Okay. This is a cool feature now and became a staple of all the Mega Mans going forward. You got to replay the 8 Master Robots that you just beat in their stages, and you get to do so with all of your weaponry. So I'm going to use Bubble Lead on Heatman to start. Remember, you fire, and then he shoots his body over to you. All you do is just kind of jump over him and then fire back at him. Just takes care of him pretty simply. And every time you kill somebody, you get a big health canister to replenish. So we're going to go through all 8 of these as quick as we can. Next, we got to pull up the Leaf Shield for Airman. This one kind of stinks because there's really no way to avoid unless he gives you a good pattern. That one I did. Unless he gives you a good pattern. Now, what did I do? What did I do? Come on. Oh, jeez. I got in deep trouble there. I should have stayed back to the left. I think my concern is that I wouldn't have picked up the health because I would have transported out. Rookie mistake by me. Okay, what you can use for this one, which is kind of nice, is the heat weapon that you get from Heatman. If you charge it up, it takes about half of Woodman's power. I gotta avoid this. Avoid? Good. Trying not to use an energy tank. I probably could if I needed to, but I felt pretty safe. I was going to take him out. 2 shots with fully charged Heatman takes out Woodman, which makes more sense, honestly, to me. We're going to go back to Metalman here. Take out this jabroni. Come on. Man, he's getting some shots off. What's this about? Give me my health. Let's move on. Bubbleman's out. 4 to go. Quickman. All right, we're going to use time stop on this. It's the only other time you need it. Can I get under? Yeah, get under. It's a little bit nicer having Quickman with just a level ground because those ridges in his stage make it a little tougher to hit him. Then again, he's super fast and very annoying and fires this quick boom. I mean, he's pretty OP, isn't he? Pretty annoying. Do not walk straight over to that energy canister if they leave it to the left of the teleport machine because you will leave without grabbing it. Just a little word to the wise. Crashman's next. Remember to jump as you shoot at him. Otherwise, he will literally eat your face. He is a live bear. Okay, 3 shots for him and he is out. 2 more of these to go. I got to assume metal is one of them, right? Oh, Metalman. All right, so we don't have the conveyor belt to deal with, and we do have quick boomerang to use, which is what he's susceptible to. And in this case, I like to move to the middle, just kind of chase him one side to the other. He fires 1 metal blade at you, and you can just fire off 1 boomerang when he lands to clean him up quickly. So nice way to recharge your life there. And then at this point, I think I've got to be facing Flashman as the last one. Yep. So Flashman finally, he gets 7 shots. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get out of there. Okay. Oh, yeah. Jump on top of it and then leave. And then you're going to stay on Metal Blade because Wily is susceptible to it. Who would have thought? And you can shoot in 8 directions. So Wily's ship. Here we are. The battle. He's going to fire these little projectiles out of the cannon on the bottom. Just kind of time your jump and go over him. Again, he oscillates back from right to left. Really not rocket science. This is the best he's got to give us. And then the front of his ship goes away, and now he's bouncing these stupid things at us. So I am not really doing well. But you want to hit that glass part of his contraption there. I'm not going to mess around. Let's just go ahead and energy tank. Let's not, easy. It's a walkthrough here. Don't want to look stupid. No shame. No worries about already doing that. Bunch of metal blades, and you can take him out fairly easily with that angled attack up, but then the floor falls out, and Wily escapes. No. A secret level? Very cool idea. Underground level for Mega Man. And you are about to encounter the actual Wily boss fight in just a moment. So you go through this underground level. Now, one thing, don't take these little drops of goo lightly. They take a lot of health from you if they hit you. So just take your time going through. There's no reason to do... Well, no reason to do that, what I just did, which was not taking my time. But you can see, man, it did like 1/3 of my life in damage. So be smarter than I am. I'm not doing well here. We're there. After you get through all of the drops of goo, we're finally up to Wily. Bubble lead is what you have to use. Basically, what you're going to see here is Wily turns into an alien. You are shocked and appalled, and then you realize that he basically just flies in a figure-8 pattern from right to left, going low here where you can hit him, and he fires off these little pellets. So it's very rhythmic, and if you get the rhythm of the bullets he fires, you can kind of move to the right to avoid them, hop over the low one, and then fire bubble lead at him. So this is it. This is the final encounter. As you move through this galactic sort of battle with Alien Wily. I remember thinking this was the coolest thing in the world when I was a kid. And I gotta tell you, the boss fight leaves a little to be desired for me. I like the fact you gotta use bubble lead. It's a fairly underrepresented ammunition in the game. But man, this really didn't do it for me as a final boss fight. Because destroying that ship in number 1 really had a sense of satisfaction. And this one, it just kind of felt, I don't know, it feels hollow. Anyway, I don't want to disparage it too much. We got 4 more shots to give him. There's 2. Can we get the final 2 here? And there it goes. Wily is defeated. But look at what is revealed. It was only a simulation. Wily is in fact fine. And he's right over there. What are you doing? Go kill him or take him. Do something. It falls harmlessly to the ground. Wily's machine, his simulator, is completely destroyed, and he begs for mercy from Megaman. And because sales were so good, Megaman gives him mercy. That's my only assumption. That is it, folks. Mega Man 2 is complete. I appreciate you guys hanging in there for the walkthrough with me. Again, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are growing, guys. We're up over 150 subscribers and looking to move towards the 200 mark and beyond as soon as we can. Would love that to be you. Also, comment on anything maybe that we missed, stuff we got wrong, stuff you liked, stuff you didn't know, or whether you were able to finish this game as a kid, or when you finally finished this game when you were playing through your NES titles. I'll stop rambling. Thank you guys for joining us. Enjoy the remainder of Mega Man 2.